Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we will be looking at this tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico that has a pretty high chance to develop into a tropical storm. So let's go ahead and get into it. But first off, we will look at this other system. This has a 30% chance to develop into a tropical depression or a named storm in the next 7 days. That could go up to a 40% chance here in a little bit. But the main system that we are watching is here in the Gulf of Mexico. That has a 60% chance to develop into a tropical depression or a named storm here in the next 7 days. It actually has a 40% chance to develop in the next 48 hours as well. But let's take a look at the GFS model here, starting at around 8 a.m. on September 9th. And here is our system in the Gulf of Mexico. It might be a little hard to see, but it is right here. And we will keep this moving. And it does eventually start to develop and get stronger, strengthens down to a borderline Category 1 hurricane here on September 11th, if this model is correct. Strengthens it to a borderline Category 2 hurricane here around 2 a.m. on September 12th, and does make landfall in portions of Texas and then moves into portions of Louisiana and Arkansas as about a tropical storm, maybe even a depression once it gets into Arkansas. But I will keep this moving to show this other system that it is showing off the coast of the southeast. Shows these little systems start to develop, maybe get to weak tropical storm or strong tropical depression status, and then makes a landfall, but then that moves on out. But then the other system that I'm watching is back here. And sorry if there is any background noise. My dog is walking around, being very noisy today. But the other system is right here. We will keep this moving. Starts to strengthen this to a Category 1 hurricane around September 18th. It starts to move north, and then it stalls and starts moving south, kind of towards Puerto Rico, these islands next to it. I'm not very familiar with these islands, so I do apologize. But then it stalls, gets to maybe Category 3, Category 4 hurricane strength, and then starts to move north. It strengthens just a little bit more to maybe Category 4. Strong Category 4 hurricane, but it does not affect anyone. Next up is the European model. The Euro's being a little weird with this system. Let's go ahead and start it off here around 5 p.m. on September 9th. And there's our system in the Gulf of Mexico, just a tropical wave still. But we will keep this moving. And it doesn't really do too much, just kind of brings a lot of rain and some thunderstorms to the Gulf coastline and portions of Texas, Louisiana, maybe even Mississippi, Alabama, and maybe even the panhandle of Florida a little bit. But next up is the Icon model. Here, we will start this around September 7th, around 8 p.m., and we will keep this moving. Does eventually get that L going here in the Gulf of Mexico. Most likely be a tropical depression, maybe a weak tropical storm here. We will keep this moving. Starts to strengthen into a tropical storm, and then even a strong tropical storm on the morning of September 11th, and then makes a landfall in portions of Louisiana, or like the Texas-Louisiana border, and then starts to weaken and then moves on out of here with possibly a tornado threat. But next up is the Canadian model. We will also start this here around 8 a.m. On September 8th. Here's our system in the Gulf of Mexico. And sorry about the ads here. I'm not really sure why I'm getting them. But let's just ignore those. But here's our system in the Gulf of Mexico. Shows it as a 1,003 millibar low pressure, most likely a tropical storm. And then it starts to just kind of stall out. Strengthens down to a 998 millibar tropical storm. This one doesn't seem exactly too tropical, though. This one kind of seems a little subtropical, or like it would be dealing with a lot of dry air. but we will keep this moving here, and it does make a landfall in portions of Texas, and then we will keep this moving, and then it kind of just heads on out. And doesn't really do too much after that. Maybe just bring some rain to portions of the southeast, maybe all the way up into the northeast. But with that, one more look at the National Hurricane Center's outlook, and we will switch to the Pacific here really fast. But one more look at the Atlantic side, 60% chance to develop in the next 7 days. To develop means form into a tropical depression or a tropical storm, and then also has a 40% chance to develop in the next 48 hours here in the Gulf of Mexico. And then this other system back in the Atlantic with a 30% chance to develop into a tropical depression or a tropical storm. And we will take a look at the Eastern Pacific here really fast. There's a disturbance out here with a 30% chance to develop into a tropical depression or a tropical storm, but that's not going to really do too much. Maybe bring some rain to Baja California area. But with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good one, everybody.